Hello everyone, and welcome back to On Air with Ben Marco. This week, I've got a pretty silly game for everyone. Helldivers! No, seriously, Helldivers is a co-op based game, which means you're going to be working together with other players in the game. Also, Helldivers is extremely satirical. It pokes endless fun at America and how overzealous people can act. Another key part of the game is friendly fire, so you can accidentally shoot your teammates if you're not careful. And that can make the game extremely silly at times. Anyway, let's get going. To start off with, Helldivers is very multiplayer focused. If you want to tackle the high level missions, you're going to need some friends. Teaming up with randoms can work, but I've found that it's a mixed bag of chance and randomness, so friends are the way to go. After you round up your posse, you must communicate. Once your team is talking and listening, hey, you've got to listen as well, the game becomes an absolute blast, even if you're losing, mostly because of how ridiculous the situations can get, such as trying to run from 4 tanks while reviving your allies at the same time, which is very stressful, but at the same time, very funny to watch. Second is probably one of the game's strongest points, and one of its unique mechanics. You are not just stuck with the gear you bring in at the start. You can call down additional equipment and supports called stratagems, which either have a certain amount per mission, or a certain amount of time between the uses during the mission. These can range from something as simple to more ammo, to something as large as a tactical nuke to wipe out everything that's on screen, including yourself if you are not careful. They're a huge part of the gameplay, and are very fun and cool to use. And now, of course, for the downsides. Strangely, this is both an upside and a downside, which is the focus on co-op. While it's a blast to play with friends, it's a nightmare to play alone or with randoms. So if you get Helldivers, play with friends. As a solo game, Helldivers is very hard to do any of the higher level missions, and with randoms, you're just as likely to get someone to shoot you in the back as they are to help you. The other downside is that there's a lot of DLC, or downloadable content. So a lot of extra content you need to pay for. Fortunately, all of it is just extra weapons and stratagems. None of them are any better than what you can get in the game to start with. It's just different gear that you can use. It still kinda sucks though, but the game was made by an indie developer, so they do have to make money after all. Overall, I quite like Helldivers. It's a fun, satire-fueled shooter with a heavy emphasis on teamwork. So would I recommend it? Yes. But only if you have friends to play it with. It's not expensive, running around $20 on its own. With all the DLC, it's a bit more, around $20 to $30 more. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. If you have any comments, just email me at bengamer24@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Anyway, back into the clip at hand, which is me and a few other people playing a game. Here, we're calling for extraction, so we're at the very end of the mission, and you can see us tossing around stratagems to call down support. One of them is calling down a turret, 2 are trying to call down mechs, and I threw out a minefield over off screen, so I hope that helped us. I'm not sure it actually stopped anything, but it's a good precaution to have it there anyway. And the mech just exploded because of the evil tentacle things, which are being projected by an evil bug monster from off screen. It's hard to tell where they are exactly unless you can see the creature itself. It's really long range. It's best to just avoid them if you can't find it itself. The turret does not discriminate between friend and foe when something's in its way. It will just shoot at the nearest enemy, and if you're in the way, well, you're gonna get shot too. That's just the way it works. So they're quite powerful, but you do have to be quite careful with them. Reinforcements can be called down at any time anyone is down, so reinforcing is both fast and easy, and there's the giant bug creature, which gets killed by the mech. Which takes that thing out of the fight and stops it from harassing us anymore, since it had been chasing us through quite a bit of the stage at this point, so it was nice to finally get it out of the way. And me calling down some barbed wire. You can see up in the corner of the screen what looks like a bomb. That means an ally has a particular stratagem readied, so you know what your ally is going to call down. Of course, he gets shot on accident and drops a stratagem, which causes it to nearly go off on himself and then get crushed by the dropship. Because that can actually happen, which means he needs to be very wary of where it is at all times when you're calling it down. But fortunately, we managed to call him back down for extraction before he gets left behind, which would lead to a loss in points and less experience points for everyone. And here's everyone just extracting. Anyway, thanks again for watching, everyone.